So let's start 9.4, which has to do with basically solving problems that involve just direct translation into mathematics. So we're going to start with 1a, and we have to, you always have to read the problem first, decide what your variable is or the unknown is, and we'll usually use x for our unknown, and translate the phrases. So the sum of a number and 8 is doubled. So we'll let our unknown number be x. So the sum of a number is the sum of a number and 8. Let me get my writing here. And it's not working. The sum of a number and 8 is x plus 8. Now it says the sum of a number and 8 is doubled. So that means this is the sum of a number and 8, and to double it is to multiply it by 2. Then it says the result is. So the words the result is translates to an equal sign. 12 more than the number. So more here means addition. 12 plus x. So that's pretty much a direct translation. So the last thing we're asked is to find the number. So again, this is just an easy problem for us to solve. We've solved many like it before. So we use distribution again, and that gives us 2 times x is 2x, plus 2 times 8 is 16, and that is equal to 12 plus x. So I'm going to move this x over to here, and that's going to give me 2x minus x plus 16 is equal to 12. We've combined like terms, so 2x minus x is x. So x plus 16 is equal to 12. Moving up to here. I'm going to move the 16 to the other side. So I get x is equal to 12 minus 16. So x is equal to minus 4. So let's look at our next problem. So the difference between two positive integers is 42. One integer is 3 times as great as the other. These are all key words. Find the integers. So we're going to find two things in this one. So in this case, the difference between two positive integers is 42. So if I let x be my larger integer and my y be my smaller of the two, so say x is the larger. So remember, an integer is just a whole number, positive or negative or 0. X is the larger, and y is going to be the smaller. So x minus y is 42. So x has to be the larger, because when I subtract y from it, I get a positive number. So one integer is 3 times as great as the other. So that means x is equal to 3y. Now how do I get that? Because x is our larger integer, and that integer is 3 times as great as the other. So now that x is equal to 3y, I just go up and replace x with 3y. So I have 3y minus y is equal to 42. So 3y minus y gives me 2y, and that's equal to 42. And I divide both sides by 2, and that gives me y is equal to 42 divided by 2, which is equal to 21. So that's what y is. Y is the smaller of the two numbers. Y is equal to 21. And what is x equal to? X is equal to 3y, which is equal to 3 times 21, which is equal to 63. And we can check. 63 minus 21 is indeed 42. So x is the larger number, and it is equal to 63. And y is the smaller number, and it is equal to 21. So the next problem is a college graduating class is made up of 450 students. There are 206 more girls than boys. How many boys are in the class? So in this case, we'll let B stand for boys and G stand for girls. And we know that the number of boys plus the number of girls is equal to the total number in the class. So that total is 450. But there are 206 more girls than boys. So that means that the number of boys plus 206 is equal to the number of girls. So B stands for the number of boys and G stands for the number of girls. So I just wrote what G is equal to. So I'm going to take this piece of information and this piece of information right here. And I'm going to stitch those pieces of information together to get an equation. So I have B plus G is equal to 450, but G is equal to B plus 206. So I'm going to rewrite this equation. I'll call it equation 1. I'm going to rewrite equation 2, replacing G with what it is, which is indicated over here. So I have B plus G is B plus 206, and that total is equal to 450. So now I'm going to simplify. B plus B is 2B plus 206 is equal to 450. So let's get some more room here. So I'm going to take my 260 and I'm going to move it to the other side. So I have 2B is equal to 4, I said 260, I mean 206. 450 minus 206. Now I know that's going to be an even number, which is good because when I divide it by 2, I'm going to get the number of boys. And 450 minus 206 is 244. So 2B is 244. So if I divide both sides by 2, I get B is equal to 2B divided by 2 is 1B. So 244 divided by 2 is 122. So that's the number of boys in the class. So there's one partial answer. And the number of girls was equal to B plus 206. Isn't that right? Let's see, that's what we had. Yeah, B plus 206. And that's going to give us the number of girls. But B is equal to 122 plus 206. That's supposed to say G right there, not a 6. That's supposed to be girls. and that's going to give us 328 is the number of girls. So G is equal to 328. Okay, let's do another one. So you'll have to study these problems. It's a little tricky. So here's kind of the overall thing. Is each problem, it's like a puzzle. Each problem gives you enough clues that you can figure it out. And basically, the question is how to put those puzzle pieces together and get the answer. So let's look at the next question here. Yeah. So this is a really important problem, and I will guarantee you there will be something similar to it on your test on this particular question. And the reason being is it's constantly missed. It's an important one, and students always seem to have trouble with it. So let's just put it together. So always draw, if you can, draw a picture. Drawing a picture is always helpful. So here we're going to have a piece of pipe. I'm going to draw my piece of pipe. And the total length of this piece of pipe is going to be 22 feet. It's the total length. And it's going to be cut into two pieces. There's going to be a shorter piece and a longer piece. So I'm going to cut it right here. And the shorter piece is 7 feet shorter than the longer piece. So shorter now it's working. So shorter is equal to, shorter piece is 7 feet shorter than the longer piece. So that's the longer minus 7. So let's let our shorter piece be x and our larger or longer piece be y. Y minus 7. So I know my shorter piece is x, my longer piece is y. I know that the length of y plus the length of x is the length of the entire pipe. So this is my one guiding equation. But over here, on the right hand side of my screen, I have x is equal to y minus 7. So I'm going to rewrite equation 1, replacing x with what it's equal to in terms of y. So y is the same, but x is equal to y minus 7. So I just put the two pieces I needed together. So this is going to be y plus y is 2y minus 7 is equal to 22. So y, 2y rather, is equal to 22 plus 7. So that gives me 2y is equal to 29. So y, if I divide both sides by 2, that gives me y is equal to 29 divided by 2, which is equal to 14 1/2 inches. So that's the length of y, and y is the length of our longer piece. And that's actually, we can see that by looking right here, and I designated y to be the longer piece. So that's how you do that one. So let's do another one. Let's do the ones I'm going to do. Yeah, we're going to skip this one. A triangle has three angles, A, B, and C. That's the one I usually skip. I'm just going to do the ones that are more likely on the test. So the room numbers of two adjacent hotel rooms are two consecutive odd numbers. If their sum is 1,380, find the hotel room numbers. So I'll let x equal the room number of one of the rooms. Now I'll let y equal the other room number, and when I add them together, I get 1,380. So what is this when we say two consecutive odd numbers? So let's take a look over here. 3 and 5 are consecutive odd numbers. 101 and 103 are consecutive odd numbers. 97 and 99 are consecutive odd numbers. So if I have, let x be my smallest of the two consecutive odd numbers, for example, if x were 97, then x plus 2 gives me the next consecutive odd number. So that means y is equal to my first odd number plus 2. Because if x is an odd number and I add to it 2, I get another odd number, and it's the next odd number in the list. So now I'm going to use this fact right here together with my guiding equation. Now I'm going to replace y with x plus 2. Why did I do that? Because this equation right here tells me that y is equal to x plus 2. And I know their sum by the problem is equal to 1,380. So now it's just a matter of solving. So this gives me x plus x is 2x plus 2 is equal to 1,380. So that gives me 2x is equal to, I'm subtracting 2 from both sides. So you should be okay with that by now. Basically, I'm taking the plus 2 here, and I'm moving it to the other side. And I've showed you how that's done so many times, I'm going to stop doing it. You've just got to understand what's going on. So that gives me 2x is equal to 1,378. So now I know what 2x is equal to. To find out what 1x is equal to, I divide both sides by 2. So x is equal to 1,378 divided by 2, and that should be an odd number when I do it. And I have it written down right here. I will tell you. It turns out that x is equal to 689. So that's one of my odd numbers. And what is my other odd number equal to? My other odd number is equal to, I don't know what I just did there. Just do it this way. My next consecutive odd number, y, is equal to x plus 2. And when I look at those and I add them up, I will get exactly 1,380. And you can just check. Numbers is 341. So we'll let x be the first page number and y the second page number. And when I add the page numbers together, I get 349. But since y is the page right after x, y is equal to x plus 1. So here are my two equations. X plus y is equal to 349. My second equation is y is equal to x plus 1. So I'm going to rewrite equation 1 using the information I get in equation 2. So x plus y, but y is equal to x plus 1, and that is equal to 349. So again, x plus x is 2x, so that gives me 2x plus 1 is equal to 349. So that gives me 2x is equal to 349 minus 1. So again, that's 2x is equal to 348. So I know how much 2x is. So I want to find out what 1 is. So I divide both sides by 2. And that gives me x is equal to 348 divided by 2 is 174. And of course y is equal to x plus 1, which is equal to 175. Okay, so that's pretty much it for section, what are we at, 9.4. Just study these examples. I'm going to send you some help. There's the textbook, of course, but I also have some Microsoft or what are the PowerPoint slides that I'm going to try to make available to you if I first verify that you already don't have access to them. But anyway, just at any rate, just keep on studying.